The Silver Screen Cynics.
All right, welcome back to the show. This is Jared.
And this is Michael.
Yay. Today is a very interesting episode. What are we going to do today, Michael?
Today, we're going to discuss our ideas for end-of-the-world movies. Ooh. Yeah, whether it's sci-fi, horror, thriller, all of those can
Comedy?
be as comedy. Yeah, or comedy. That's true.
Yeah.
Romance.
There's a lot to work with, and I tried to avoid all of the the typical. There's so many easy routes that end of the world movies take. Like, for instance, there is the movie where there's an outbreak and there's one person that's immune or something, and we need to find out why. That's been done to death. Or the Earth is dying. We've killed the Earth with our negligence, and now we have to survive. I don't know.
Or every Roland Emmerich movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Name your disaster, and it just happened on a large scale.
Yeah, 2012. Oh my gosh.
Roland Emmerich, the British Michael Bay. Is he British? No, sure.
He's German.
Is he German?
Yeah, is it German? Even better.
The European Michael Bay.
Yes. Which I didn't know he directed Godzilla. He produced it. Or maybe he did direct it. Yes, he directed it. Yeah, he directed a lot of crap factories.
Did he did Stargate, right? I don't think
it was him, yes.
Okay.
So he did do something. He did do something good, but that was long ago. And
you're bound to get lucky once in a while.
Yeah. That was his most original movie, I think.
Mm-hmm. And he that's his idea too. He's actually, I think he's gonna make another Stargate because it's his world, so he can do.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm all for it. As long as because I'm tired of people like rebooting and reimagining stuff. It's nice that it's like similar to like George Miller bringing back Mad Max. It's like, well, that's his.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it can be a sequel, but have nothing to do with any character or anything. Just a new protagonist, sometime later, and then just run with the story.
Kurt Russell's kind of making a comeback right now, so I'd love to see him back for the sequel of Stargate.
That would be sick. Yeah, why don't we just bring back James Spader too?
Yeah, James Spader, his career's booming too. He did nothing after Stargate.
Yeah, he had that movie was, I think, pretty commercial. Yeah. I think it wasn't. It was kind of I think it didn't do great in the theater, but it had a lot more buzz after the fact,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I love that movie.
Yeah, great movie. But the world doesn't end in that movie. It's not applicable. Yeah. So anyway.
So what me and Mike did is we tried to come up with our own ideas for our end of the world story. We got to pick the director and actor or actors, whoever we wanted to be in it, and we're gonna kind of go over what we came up with and some of our ideas that failed, maybe, or just kind of back and forth on it.
Yes. Would you like to do the honors and go first, or would you like me to go first?
I will do it since I think you started last time. Okay. Now I had a few ideas. And I was talking to Deb about my ideas, and she seems to have heard some of my ideas before. Because my wife Deb, she watches a lot of TV and a lot of bad TV sometimes, stuff that I won't ever watch. And so I guess some of these shows she's watched have echoed, so I changed my ideas. But I had one idea. It was similar to you remember in Interstellar when their whole backup plan was they had their ship had a bunch of embryos or something like the humanity's last hope of people, and they were gonna throw it on the planet and basically say, all right, go thrive, humans. In a somewhat similar vein, I had an idea of maybe the world just completely died, but humanity's last ditch effort to save itself was to like have a bunch of like this whole system set up to where these embryos were they would like these fertilized eggs would form, and then they had the means to take care of these infants until they were able to basically fend for themselves a bit. So, and the whole point of the story was that these like a group of kids grew up without any kind of guidance whatsoever, no language, no anything, and how on earth did they thrive? Like, kind of exploring that. But she's like, well, there's some show that I watched that's sort of like that. I was like, okay, never mind. Scrap that. So anyways, my ultimate idea, it's called, the title is World Tour. Oh yeah. And
World Tour,
directed by Drew Goddard. And the cast is Joseph Gordon-Levitt. And
shoot, that's who I picked for mine. I'll pick somebody else.
Did you really?
But I literally picked him right now. That's okay.
All right.
He can't play in my movie because he's playing in yours. Okay.
Let me do a double feature. And the late Anton Yelchin. And, yeah, that's sad news. He was awesome. I wish he didn't die, because I had such hope for his career. Mary Elizabeth Winstead, 'cause I like everything she's in, and Paul Dano, however we want to say it. I say Dano. Okay. Now the premise, what starts? I went with the typical viral outbreak that is killing off humanity. That's the whole beginning, and but humanity is slowly dying off. Like, depending on how resistant your body is to the virus, you could survive a little longer than other people. So approximately there's like 5% of humanity left. So it's not looking good. So there is this alternative band that is still alive called Mr. Creosote. It's the name of one of my favorite characters from a Monty Python movie. And so they're like, well, screw this. The world's dying. We're gonna finish our concert tour. So this band decides they're gonna go on tour, and then the movie turns into kind of a road trip movie of this band going across the country. They're probably gonna go across the United States, because I don't see them being able to fly a plane by themselves. So, and the whole point, I just had like a really cool image of them traveling throughout the countryside, and you see like these major cities where everything is overgrown, and kind of similar to like I Am Legend, where it's just when you don't care for a city, it overgrows, and it's like a wasteland of like greenery and everything, which I think I love that image. So yeah, they decide to go out and continue their tour, and they're gonna. People start to hear about this, like, oh, there's actually people are trying to entertain on our last days on this planet. Sorry if this sounds really bleak, but this is what I came up with. So people start to like travel, like, oh, where are they playing next? The remains of humanity that within range. They're trying to get to these shows, and that's why I wanted Drew Goddard to direct, is to inject a lot of like humor and kind of like buddy. Just to lighten the movie up for the second act, where it's just like, oh yeah, we're having fun again. Even though we're dying, we're at least enjoying ourselves, kind of thing. And as the tour goes on, you start to see that the attendance is dropping and dropping, because the people are slowly dying and dying. So eventually the first band member dies, and then it's like then the whole emotional impact of that is it carries weight throughout the band, and then they decide to trudge on and try to remain faithful to their pledge to finish this tour. Eventually, everyone in the band is gone, and all that's left is Joseph Gordon-Levitt on guitar. So he drives to their final venue by himself, and there's only one person there at the venue, and he plays the show like normal, and like halfway through the set, the person dies, and so he continues, and then he starts their final song. And the camera cuts behind him, and then the credits roll over him playing their final song, and that's the final credits song. And then after his song, he bows, and it cuts to black. A little depressing.
Awesome.
I like I think in visuals a lot, and so imagining, like all this somber music playing while they travel the countryside, and then you see like all these big landmarks and stuff just totally grown over, and I don't know. I just think that visually would be really cool.
Yeah. What's the director again?
Drew Goddard, the guy that did Cabin in the Woods.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
I could see it being kind of like definitely like a quirky, like
The indie.
dark comedy. I'm feeling. Have you seen? Gosh, what's the name of that movie? The guy with Michael Fassbender.
Oh
And
yeah. Where he's in that indie band.
I'm feeling like a Frank vibe meets like I Am Legend.
Yeah.
It,
I started thinking of like what kind of band it would be, and for some reason Frank popped up, and I was like, nah, that's too quirky. So I just went with an alternative group. But yeah, Frank was pretty cool.
that would be an interesting movie to see a lot of the kind of like interaction with the band, a lot of going back and forward.
Hmm. Yeah, I love the cast. I picked each person because I think they're great actors, and I can see them having good chemistry, except Anton Yelchin, unfortunately.
Sad.
Yeah.
Sad. It sounds like I want to see it made.
Yeah. Let's go make it.
Yes, let's do it.
All right, what do you got,
Cool.
Michael?
All right, for my movie, I was just trying to figure out what actor I wanted to replace Joseph Gordon-Levitt with.
Jordan
Jordan.
Joseph.
Jordan Joseph Larvert. Anyway, I picked one. I got somebody.
Cool.
Who's like, I haven't seen him in a lot of stuff, a little bit, but I think he has potential and range. But let me get into the idea of the movie. So this movie, it would be the next big movie for Alfonso Cuarón.
Cuarón.
Alfonso Cuarón, which is he is the perfect person who could make this movie into something that's
It's funny because he was my first pick for director too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's all
He
right.
would be completely like essential to this movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
other people could do it, but he would make it like amazing. So
He's so diverse, and he's done so many different types of movies that like he can pull anything off.
yeah. So my idea for a movie is I was like you. I tried to like think of like, oh man, how many like ways can the world like be destroyed? Definitely not doing zombies, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I was like, natural disasters, that's a disaster movie, and usually it's people survive. And I was like, it's like the loss of life plan for mine is completely like undeniable. Like I'll tell you, it's just kind of like how it ended is the story.
Okay.
That's not what the name is, but this is like that's the how it ends, you know. But It's very, very weird and Hitchcock. So, anyway, the name of the movie, which is a working title, which I would be glad to take any suggestions for other names, is In the Depths of the Sky. And
Ooh.
this is an idea that I've actually seriously had, so I'm going out on a limb here by broadcasting this, and somebody's gonna be like, I like it
Let's
and
call our
take it.
agents.
Yeah, some screenwriter's gonna be like, yoink. So trademark,
Yeah.
copyright, calling it. Anyway, 2016. Anyway, so my idea is a man. It's best to describe it just kind of like the synopsis, the beginning synopsis first. A man wakes up and it's completely dark, and he thinks a tornado is happening because he is covered like in debris and probably his own mattress, and there's lots of noises going on outside, and he thinks it's like a tornado or a storm. So he finally like gets out of there, and he notices his house is turned over. He's looking up at the floor. So he goes to the window and he discovers that the sky is below him and the ground is above him.
Ooh.
And the entire idea of this movie is a sense that this guy wakes up to reverse gravity where everything and everyone is falling to the sky. Everything is being forced off the planet from debris, people, cars, animals, water, lots of ground
Wow.
falling to the sky. And basically, the movie is going to be a kind of a short, almost real time, so 2 hours, 2 hours of 2 hours is 2 hours probably,
Okay.
and it would be completely kind of like the movie Open Water or other movies or the movie Buried, where it's like real time, like intense, and
And,
he basically is trying
and just follow
to
the one
survive.
guy.
Yeah, and it would I mean, it would be following one guy, but there would be other characters,
Mm-hmm.
there too. I mean, it wouldn't be just one person, but it'd be just a handful cast, a couple extras too. So, and I picked Dominic Cooper,
Ooh.
um, the Winter Soldier, and also he's the preacher in the new AMC show, which I haven't watched yet, but I just picked him because I liked him. I think he showed a lot of range in Civil War and the
Was
Winter
was
Soldier.
was he the Winter
Um,
Soldier?
I just think he's definitely has. Yeah, he was Bucky.
Sorry, I
No, no, no,
just
no. I'm sorry. I messed up. He was what's his face? Howard Stark. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
not Bucky.
Okay.
What actor is it? I don't know. Or should I do that guy? I don't know. I was. He just seemed like kind of scrappy. He'd have a lot of range, be able to do action sequences, And I mean, it it sounds kind of ridiculous and far-fetched, and I don't think there would be like any reason at all to have any sort of explanation, any sort of like it's so absurd that if there was any explanation, it would just kind of be like whatever, you know. So it'd kind of be a complete like anomaly mystery. Even if there was a logical explanation, it would ruin the story in the sense of like him figuring out what's going on by running into a geologist who knows exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would not happen. Not in this story. I think with this, it would be, him trying to survive to get out of maybe, I would say he would be in like a bigger building, like an apartment complex of some sort, something that has like, some uh, weight to it, to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
to hold it in. And I don't know. I mean, it would probably be a little far-fetched in the sense that I don't know the infrastructure setup of of this in the sense that like a building would be able to hold on to its own weight if it was hung upside down. Probably not.
Hmm.
But but in a sense, it would just be everything is. I think that's how everything would eventually go. Is most buildings would just completely fall into the sky. So there would definitely be a like fear. It would be a thriller because he just wakes up and he's trying to figure out what to do if there's anything he can do. Um, and then like there would be this kind of like fear of open space, kind of horror to it. Um, and just like what to do, think, and it would be very intense. And that's where it's kind of like in the sense it's kind of similar to Gravity in a way, where it's like think fast. I have to figure this out. And then of course this movie wouldn't be what it was unless we didn't have those long camera shots,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
big action sequence where he's like escaping the building or something all in one take.
Yeah, trying to like there'd be just like these epic shots of him trying to like crawl or climb across like a wire from one building to another
That'd be cool.
and just having open air. Now, I don't know all the details of how it would go or what would go down, but all I know is how it would start and how it would end in the sense that like he would ultimately I feel like the camera and the viewer would want to be like, well, what happens if we fall? What is that going to mean? I mean, we're not going to hit anything.
Hmm.
How are we going to die? Like, so there would probably be some sort of crazy shot, long shot, obviously, of him falling into the abyss of the sky. And I guess how someone would probably die is they would probably freeze. They would probably, well, first they wouldn't be able to breathe after a while.
Hmm.
And then and if they could still breathe, they would probably freeze to death and their heart would go into cardiac arrest from the speed and
Hmm.
the lack of breath and the cold. And then, I mean, they would just be shot. Pretty much they would be shot out into space. Like, I guess it would just be where the gravity gets thinner is where it would stop.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think I'm kind of like undecided here on if he would actually die or somebody else would die and we would see it. Does he live on? Could there be another movie? Like, could we do anything more with this? I think it would be interesting if it was a successful story to do the same story again from the beginning, but from a different point of view from somebody else.
Yeah, and
You know,
you try to take it like what would people logically do in this situation, and they would like burrow, go up into the ground, and basically you'd have people building structures inside of the ground. Like you'd have they would start living in as far up into the ground as they can get, and you'd have like
yeah.
these like tunnel cities and stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, you could really go like really crazy into into the story. This might work a little better, like the survival rate would actually probably be better in a big city in the sense that like there could also be, the we got to make it to we got to get to the subway, you know,
Hmm.
that's underground, and there's a floor below us, something a little more structurally, that's not going to fall. So that would be kind of like maybe like one goal, you know.
Hmm.
And it would work if it was in I don't know how big of an apartment, but apartment that would be able to be stable for a while. Of course, we wouldn't want it to be completely stable because then that would not be fun at all. It would have to be like falling apart as they're trying to get out of it, you
Hmm.
know. So basically, the end of the world is the gravitational pull of the Earth is reversed, and everybody falls to their death into space, into sky.
Nice. It sounds like the good version of what Upside Down tried to be.
Yeah, I thought there's a couple times where I saw like I've had this kind of idea like for a while, just like upside down movie. And then there was a couple times where I saw something I was like, crap, my
Yeah.
idea, But then so upside down, I didn't see upside down, but that movie is completely different in the sense that it's about two worlds that one is upside down and the other and they're like interaction, so I don't know if there's like falling into like
That's so
nothing.
stupid. It's
Yeah.
Well, the biggest thing that they got wrong right from the start is the two worlds are connected by a building. Like they basically built a building that would meet in the middle. How on earth does that work with both planets rotating? I
uh,
mean, it it
it would have
doesn't. It's
it would
impossible.
have yeah they would have to be rotating on the building would have to be the axis of both
Yeah, they
planets.
would, and that's just
That
ridiculous.
yeah, it's like that still wouldn't work. Then the building would break, or
Yeah,
be rotating at the same time. That's not really a rotation.
yeah.
Yeah, that movie made hardly any
I
sense.
I I tried to watch it. I really tried, and it was just so stupid. I was like, I cannot. This is so ridiculous.
Like the some of the posters and the shots of that movie, they look like a great Photoshop job. You're like, oh, that's fun. That makes no sense. And you're like, oh, did this somebody actually try to pull this off as something? Oh, ooh. Like the two characters like reaching towards each other, like, we could almost touch. But
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. And just stupid stuff like they'll be at work and it just like it hurts your brain to look at stuff upside down constantly, and that's what this movie did. It's like two lovers, one they're both on their separate planets, and then like oh they're in work, and then like he like looks up at her at work, and then like she's upside down, and it's like and so you have to watch them upside down for a long time, and it's really annoying.
Yeah, this movie wouldn't be in that way. I mean, it would be shot like the cities are upside down, the sky is below,
Yeah.
but everything would no, you would get used to it.
It would be like filming your movie with everything right side up as if gravity was normal, but then everyone would be like walking on the ceilings and stuff. And you'd be like, wait.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny to see. And in a sense, like you don't know, like in the beginning of the movie, like what
That would be
what's
cool, a
going
cool shot though. You him waking up and then he like stands up and he's like, "Huh?" And then like the camera pans out and then it slowly rotates and then you see that he's on the ceiling and you're like, "What?"
Yeah. And I mean, the movie's difficult to imagine like what would be the parameters of this calamity that doesn't scientifically work.
Yeah.
Like you would have to set the parameters like if it's going to be a drastic fall gravity pull that it would be completely reversed and you would fall at the same speed.
Mhm.
Then that means the force of a lot of structures and infrastructures would be pulled and
Yeah.
everything would just completely fall off the planet.
It would just I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like cool visuals again. Like
Yeah.
you realize how much stuff is like tethered to the ground. You like got
Oh yeah.
everything like wires, telephone poles, pipes, so much stuff would just be like hanging, like standing straight up in the air, and it'd be like, what the crap?
Yeah, like I would love. I mean, there's endless possibilities for movie posters.
Uh-huh.
I think one movie poster would be cool to see, like just like simple ground and then like sky, but like maybe like monotone, like two colors, and then like you see the phone poles upside down and the wires are just casually hanging upside down, like they're just like do do do,
Mm-hmm.
going down and up, but while the poles are upside down, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I saw there was another movie that came out, and as soon as I saw the poster, I was like, crap. And the name is cool, but I don't think the movie is good. I have not seen it. But the movie As Above, So Below. It's this
Uh-huh.
the poster. It shows is black and red, and it shows the Eiffel Tower upside down,
Hmm.
and then it has like the ground above you is like full of skulls.
I see it. Yeah.
So yeah, but that movie is about uh, the Paris catacombs.
Okay.
It's just what they did for the poster. It has nothing to do with gravitational
Yeah.
pull or anything. So, but
Huh.
um, but it just has a pretty cool name.
It sounds your
Yeah.
movie sounds really cool, and I can see lots of possibilities of what people can do, and yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, you could do lots of stuff. You could have like a Matrix sort of like Zion setup where everybody lives in this underground and
They
they
dance and
they
have
dance
sex.
and they dance and have massive like raves and orgies. Oh yeah, that's what's gonna happen in my movie.
Because that was the best part of that movie. I just remember everyone looking around in the theater like, is this gonna end? Why is it still
Like,
on?
wait, is this? Huh?
It's still
Yeah,
happening. That was so long.
yeah,
That's the last time I saw that movie. Was the first time.
yeah. The last time I saw that movie was the first time. That I think that's me too. I don't think I saw it again. I was too mad. I was just so mad
Hmm.
when I saw and then I was like, I'll see the sequel. I'll see the third one. Hopefully it'll be better. Nope, about the same. Dang it.
Why?
Gosh. They had
Oh,
such a good thing going in the
we
first
should have.
movie. But anyway, I think this movie would definitely have like a personal first person feel to it.
Hmm.
Um, where you would just be kind of like, what do you do? What do you do? Like, don't panic. It wouldn't be like, I don't think it would, especially if it was something I was really gonna do, it would probably have a pretty low budget. So you would have to like really save the money for a couple really good shots. You couldn't be like, oh, all over, like
Yeah, it's not
cameras
like
like flying in.
2012.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not Roland Emmerich here. I'm like, hey, jeez. So, yeah, I think that would be like very Hitchcock, very unexplained, Twilight Zone,
Hmm.
but like intense.
Yeah, sometimes that's the worst when they try to explain something that's like scientifically impossible, and then it ends up just being ridiculous. Like just let us have some fun and enjoy the mystery of it all.
Yeah. Sometimes some of the freakiest movies are not really explained all that much. And when they try to explain them, it ruins it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your audience is smart. They can figure things out, and they can formulate their own their own ideas. That's the fun of movies sometimes, is not knowing everything.
Yeah, and it could be like a Cloverfield sort of situation where you could
Yeah.
have lots of like theories,
Mm-hmm.
and it would really like cause a bunch of buzz if you made a sequel to it. People like, whoa. Like an example like Cloverfield also did, with 10 Cloverfield Lane.
That's so smart. They have a monster flick for the first one, and the second one is a psycho thriller.
Yeah,
Like what?
yeah.
But it's
It's like
so
what's the common denominator? Aliens. Oh my gosh. So
yeah.
maybe if I could get like a J.J. Abrams as producer on this to make sure
Hey,
like it goes well, but it has the talent. Alfonso Cuarón.
quite on.
Cuarón.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only problem with doing these is coming up with these cool ideas and knowing we're not going to get to see them. It's like, gosh,
Yeah.
dang it.
And then like somebody else coming up with a very similar idea, and you're like, oh man, you
And
know.
if it sucks, you're like, ah.
Yeah, exactly. Like like that movie Elysium. I saw a preview for that and be like, man, I had that idea for that movie when I was like 12 years old. Of a future like dystopia with about a dude who has robotic arms who wants to get off the planet. I totally had that idea, you know?
Yeah.
It was very similar. I was like,
Yeah, it was similar to me and Pacific Rim. Like I had an idea similar to that, and the same as with like Neon Genesis Evangelion. I used to draw it all the time, and I would, I was young enough to where I could act stuff out in my living room, and I wouldn't be looked at as crazy. But yeah, I had this idea of the guy that can pilot a robot by jumping inside its head and everything, and I don't know. I thought it would be so cool. I also pretended to be RoboCop and Ninja Turtle, so
as you should have.
yeah.
I also played with one of these Hot Wheels. It was a movie, and like I would always act out like when I was playing with my toys. I would always pretend like this is a movie, like
Mm-hmm.
so I'd try to follow like a plot, and have like have an ending, like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of like I would have like these big like play sessions where I would just like play with my action figures for like 3 4 hours, and then there would be like an end. Like everybody would die except the hero,
Yeah.
and like and sometimes the villain would win. And but I remember I had like the Expendables. Dude, I was acting that out with my toys long before that movie came out. I had a movie that was called Speed before the movie Speed came out,
Nice.
about a fast car. It didn't have anything to do with a bus exploding, which I'll give them that. That was original. But I was like, oh, there's a car. Who's driving the car? Christian Slater. Duh. So it gives you a little carbon dating on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that dates you
Yeah.
a bit.
Back when he was really cool.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, so yeah, but it's fun to come up with these ideas, and
Uh-huh.
whether they happen or whether they not. But I mean, you just start writing it. Who are some of the famous or the stories that were just like written by like nobodies that like
Juno.
Juno? That's a good nobodies.
I mean, if you watch shows like Entourage or any kind of shows with done by people about the movie business where they at least are being somewhat truthful, it's kind of depressing about thinking about writing your own screenplay and stuff. It just seems like they get screenplays out the butt. Everyone trying to make it big with their own
Oh
screenplay.
yeah,
And it's like I don't ever want to try. I don't ever want to try that.
yeah. That sounds awful to get to the top of that stuff. I would just kind of I don't know, just kind of like I'd rather do something else and then casually enjoy movies,
Hmm.
as a pastime.
What was really cool is I recently watched. Have you heard of Project Greenlight?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I haven't
Okay,
seen it though.
I watched a few episodes of it. It's on. I think it's on HBO Go or HBO Now.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. They decided to give just average guys a shot at writing a screenplay, and then they would produce it with, I think, New Line Cinema. So they just asked everyone to submit screenplays to them, and then like they would have people read them, and then they would determine what was the best. And eventually, they picked one script to be actually made into a movie, and it's like, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. Does it only have one season?
No, there's a few seasons, I think.
Hmm.
But I was shocked. I thought it was going to take long to get to the finalists, but I think it was like the first episode. Maybe they at the end of the episode, they're like,
Oh.
"Oh, we picked our winner." And it's like, really? And then
Oh.
the
Okay.
rest of the season is all detailing how they make the movie and stuff. I was like, "Oh, wow, that's kind of cool."
Yeah.
And the author, I think he gets to direct it too, so it's kind of cool.
Oh wow, that's cool. I would be very intimidated
Yeah, well,
if I.
they have to submit a video showing their style of video. They would edit with like a home camera. It looks really bad, but they could, they're able to see how they utilize a home camera to get shots and angles and stuff, and so that's why they give him a shot at directing too. So it's kind of cool.
That's really cool. Oh
Yep.
man.
So that is our own ideas for end of the world movies.
Yay.
And
no aliens were harmed in the making of this.
Yeah, we didn't pick any aliens,
episode.
and we didn't pick natural disasters. I'm impressed. No zombies. Nice.
Yeah. So, no Nicolas Cage? Come on.
Yeah, or M. Night.
Or M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is he's the end of the world master apparently.
Yeah, he's like
the first one that me and Mike thought of.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage and Knowing.
Oh my
I
gosh!
think that's
No oneing.
No Wanting. Is that what it?
Yeah, I hate when movies put numbers. I'll give the exception to 7 just because that movie's awesome.
Yes. Cool.
Yeah.
That was it.
Thank you for listening. Have a great week.
Don't steal our ideas.
Yeah, go if you know an agent, call him up, send him this episode.
Yes.
Get us some money.
Yes.
Money.
All right. See ya.
See ya.